howdy ho. How are y'all? It's Tara and Sabrina, and today we're talking about parenting. Okay. We might be talking lawsuits, so stay tuned. So today's topic is on parenting.
Yay, right?
Yay. That means children are involved. And they come in all sizes and all kinds of ways,
They
don't
come
they?
in a cute little package.
They do.
Yeah.
And then they grow up.
They sure do.
So we're going to talk about a few big topics that have lots of little side items underneath
just
them.
some good parenting thoughts.
Right.
Some things to consider, in your walk as a parent. Because it is such a huge responsibility, such a blessing, huge responsibility.
Yes.
And, of course, if you are a parent, you want to do things well. Because it is so crucial to the development of your life, the life of your children, and your family.
Yeah, because your life is flowing into their life.
Yes. So the first thing we're going to talk about is setting boundaries.
It's my boundary.
Don't cross space. So boundaries are very important in the life of yourself and your child. Want to make sure that you're setting clear boundaries with your children, that they know what to expect, that you are giving clear instructions, but also sticking to what you say.
So hard.
Oh,
So hard.
I have failed so many times at that very thing.
Yeah. Because you always have a kid that will respect your boundaries, and then you'll have another kid that's like, boundaries? Yeah?
Yeah.
Watch this.
Yeah. Who you fooling?
Yeah.
Right now I'm seeing
thinking
which
names.
ones. Yes. I mean, Josh was the type of kid, he started to draw on the wall one time, and he was like 3, and I said, no. He dropped the crayon, and that was it.
Wow.
Then there was Autumn, who, moving her out as an 18-year-old, her name was on almost everything that she owned. I mean, it was just like, oh, yeah.
I used to get underneath my parents' coffee table in the living
Yeah.
room and write my name with crayon underneath the table. Not on top of the table, but underneath. Like, that was kind of like sneaky as like a 4 or 5 year old.
Yeah.
So
Says a lot.
yep. Afraid so.
So make sure that you're sticking to your word. If you say it, follow through with it. Also, picking your battles.
Oh yeah.
So, with parenting is many challenges. And your kids are going to do lots of things that you wish that they would do differently. But make sure that you hold out for the things that truly matter.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely.
So maybe you're overlooking the fact that they don't pick up their dirty socks, but you're making sure that you stick to your curfew is 10 o'clock. So, that's kind of like the difference. Those socks, eventually they're going to grow up and be gone, and those socks will go with them. But with the curfew, that's more of a matter of safety.
Yeah. Well, and respect.
And respect. So you want to make those points where it's going to count.
So as you parent, you can't always be,
We did sign
Do
language
this.
down.
do this, do this, do this, do this. You have to have some grace with your kids as they learn how to do things, because different you know, you teach them, you train them, and then they finally learn how to do something, and then you teach them harder things or whatever.
Teach them grace.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're giving yourself grace, because we make mistakes as parents. And, you know, mistakes are part of life. So I never tried to be the perfect parent, or to lead my kids to think that my ways were perfection. You know, if I made a mistake, then I owned it and I apologized, so that they understood that when they make a mistake, there is grace, and this is how you handle it. And I think also grace comes in when, you know, your children make mistakes, and they see that there are times that mistakes mean consequences. Most of the times they do, but there's also grace, that there is love that covers those mistakes.
Right.
So yes, here's your consequence, but you know what? I still love you.
Yeah. And I think they need to learn, like if they have siblings, to give their siblings grace as well.
Yes, one thing that was very important in our home was, you know, kids were going to fight, and we understood that. But, you know, I would never allow my kids to name call or to punch or anything like that in our home, because I would tell them the world outside of here is cruel, but inside this home is safety to you, and we will not treat each other that way.
Yeah, that's good.
You may fuss at one another, and my kids overall were pretty good. My girls would come to, you know, they would get along beautifully 90% of the time, but it would come down to like a pair of shorts that I bought at a garage sale for 50 cents, and it was like World War III.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and even my girls were talking about this yesterday, because when they got to a certain age, they decided to share clothes, and I told them, now you girls both need to sit down and come up with the rules on how this is going to work, and stick to it. Because at first I tried to set the rules, and then it was both of them coming to me, and you know, I've got these two people that I love so much, and they're both telling me different stories, and I don't know which one is accurate. Right. So I told them they had to set the rules. Then they were still coming to me, yanking on a pair of 50-cent shorts. And I would say, work it out. Yeah. You two are going to have to work this out. You made the rules, you work it out. And they said, oh, we hated that. We wanted you to just say, you're wrong.
You're teaching them how to negotiate.
Yes, and they said that now they totally understood why that was the case.
That's funny.
It is funny. So you want to make sure that things are age appropriate as well. You know, as your kids are growing, they're going to have questions. If they have asked a question about something, then they deserve an answer, but it doesn't have to be in full detail like the encyclopedia,
right,
to a 3-year-old.
Right.
But as they grow, they should be getting more information on that topic if they're still asking.
Right. And when we were having our pre-production meeting, I was talking about my girls' goldfish. I did not want them to get a goldfish. They came home with a goldfish, and I'm like, this thing's gonna die like in 2 seconds.
Yes.
And then they're both gonna be brokenhearted, and you know what? That fish came back to life. So I said, we naming this thing Lazarus. We are naming the goldfish Lazarus, but Lazarus eventually died again.
As did the real one.
As did the real one. And, you know, you just have to, if a goldfish dies on a 2 or 3-year-old, you know, you just, and they ask about it,
we just sent it sailing.
We just sent it sailing. And
swirling.
And you know, if it's a 6 or 7-year-old, the goldfish is with Jesus. So where everything has a time.
Yes.
So be careful as you parent to go at your child's pace. So why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Well, I just remember catching myself, like even just going to the store or, when you've got a lot of errands to run or you're going to church or you're going to school and it just seems like always being in a hurry and telling the child to hurry when their little legs are, a third of what yours are. And so I was learning in the moment that this is not okay.
I'm getting convicted right now.
This is not okay. So instead, you know what? If we're late, we're late. But we're going to walk at her pace, not mine. And that goes for just, enjoying. My kids taught me a lot about just stopping. You think stop and smell the roses. Well, we stopped and picked dandelions or stopped and smelled the dandelions, because that's what they were into. And it was important. There's things about, my children were always good teachers for me, and they teach you how to be in the moment, how to enjoy the little things, and how to appreciate things, and we all need that.
Also, as you're teaching your little ones or even your bigger ones, don't make your children your confidant.
Yes.
Don't take your issues out on them. If you're mad at their father, don't say you're a single mom and your ex has done something silly, and don't be bringing it up with them.
Yeah, this is a good topic. I think that our kids need to see some of our emotions, not all of our emotions. So if grandma has passed away, it is healthy for a child to see tears.
Yeah.
To see sadness.
Yeah.
And for them to understand that this is what we do when we lose somebody we love, and that it's okay, and this is how we do it. This is what grieving looks like. When Autumn's bunny died, she was devastated. And so we sat on the couch and I just held her and she cried. And, that was an important moment in her life. And it was a big deal to her.
Sure.
And just allowing her to have those emotions and knowing that's healthy. When I worked hospice, I really struggled with not bringing my work home, having a rough day, and it seems like I'm talking about Autumn a lot, but she was the youngest, and so she would be running out to the car as soon as I got home, just could not wait to tell me all about her day. And within like 5 minutes, I would hear everything the teacher said, everything that happened on the playground. And after you've had a rough day, that is hard to take in. But, she was coming out to greet me with love and excitement. So I began to start decompressing from work. The moment I got into my car and was driving home, I would drive home without the radio on and just try to, whether it be pray or just kind of let loose of the things of the day so that I could meet that child in her excitement and expectation without carrying over the weight of my day. And if I had a bad day at work and my kids asked me what was wrong, I told them. I had a bad day at work, I'm a little grumpy tonight, but it didn't have anything to do with you. And I think that, is healthy.
The next big topic is living an authentic life. Not easy to do.
No.
So,
and your kids need to know that.
Yeah. So it's being vulnerable. It's being honest. It's being transparent. Get it? Transparent. But anyway,
walk the walk. I was a little slow. I just got it. But yeah, it's walking the walk and talking the talk.
Exactly.
Kids pay so much more attention to what you do than what you say. So we do a lot of squawking at them. And really, they're paying attention to see, are you doing this? Do you mean what you say? Are you living this out before me? Because if you're not, it doesn't mean anything to me.
Right. Why are you telling me I got to clean my room when your room looks like,
Exactly.
sloppy?
Yes.
So.
Exactly. Or being nice to people, out in town. Your kids are paying attention.
Right. They sure are.
Yeah.
They sure are. And, even apologizing when you've blown it. I know there was a situation where we were trying to, everything went wrong that morning. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those mornings, and you're trying to get 2 kids ready, and they're just not doing it. They're just not doing what you've told them to do. And I blew my top, which is not what a Christian mom should do, but I did. And I got the kids to school. I dropped them off. I got about a mile away, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. And so I went back home, and I wrote a letter to my daughter apologizing, and I took it to school, and I had one of the little assistant ladies take it to her.
That's beautiful.
And I was just like, no, I'm not going to have this rift with my daughter. And the teacher said that meant so much to my daughter. And I just, I told her, I said, I blew it. And then when we got back together that afternoon, I said, Mommy blew it, and I am so, so sorry. And
there's so much respect for that. And I do want to go back, because I know that I don't think you meant it like this, but I think it's important that our viewers hear this. You said as a Christian mom should do, as any mom should do.
True.
Just Christian or not, we are human, and we make mistakes, and we're teaching our kids that when you make mistakes, because you're going to make mistakes, that I never wanted my kids to grow up thinking, like, I was a journaler. And I keep those journals so that one day my kids can read through them, because I have grown a lot in Christ over the years, and as a person and as a mother. And there were things like when they were little, I remember just absolutely being devastated because the only thing that Josh would eat was sweet potatoes and squash, and he was orange all the time. And I just felt like it was like the biggest thing in the whole wide world, And I pictured this orange adult walking around being like this big because he wouldn't eat anything else. Well, anybody who knows my Josh knows that he has a very hearty appetite now. He eats everything under the sun. But my point being that, like my daughter has a child now, and I wanted her to see that I had these struggles when I was your age, that this is very normal, and give yourself grace, because that's just part of the walk.
Yeah, definitely. So what other things come under living an authentic life?
Well, I think we kind of covered, being honest with your kids. I always wanted my kids to know they had somebody they could count on, somebody that would always tell them the truth. And so I wanted to be that person for them. When I would tell them, if you go to school and you're hearing certain things, and I want you to come to me if you have questions about them, I'm not going to laugh at you. I'm not going to make you feel silly. I'm going to give you the truth. And I think that's, valuable. We talked about apologizing, living a life of integrity, walking the walk, do what you say you're going to do. Training them.
Yeah, that takes patience.
Oh, patience is huge.
Yeah, it is. So you train them in age-appropriate things, like, I have a friend who is doing a marvelous job raising her kids. She has trained them. She trained them at like 3 years old to put the spoons and the forks in the dishwasher.
Wow.
Yeah, it's impressive. And so just, as they go, put the socks in the dirty clothes.
And when they're little, they so want to help.
Oh,
so
they
put
do.
that to use and give them lots of praise.
Yes.
But also the Bible tells us to train up a child in the way that they should go.
Yep. So just age appropriate training. Don't be in a rush for the task to get done. They won't do it perfect, like mowing the grass. They won't mow the grass the way you want them to mow the grass. It takes training, so just be patient with them.
And let them do it. I would always let my kids do the chores, even though I would be back there going, oh, you know.
I think we all do that.
Yeah, but even if I had to go behind them and fix a few things later, I didn't do it in front of them. I would just let it be because it's not that big a deal.
Right.
If the towels are not folded correctly, because there is a way to do it.
There is a. Do you do trifold or do you do?
No.
No.
I do a bifold.
A bifold. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you do a trifold?
I do trifold because it's less room.
Oh.
So
May have to try that.
But I did bifolds my whole life,
Mm-hmm.
and then Susan Henson taught me how to do trifold.
Okay, I thought maybe Miss Faye trained you.
No.
But you know, training is to do something with somebody.
Yes.
It's not just you go do this. It's let me stand beside you. We'll make this cake together.
Mm-hmm.
Let me help you learn how to
Mhm.
do this for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Definitely. My girls are soaring at cooking. Something I didn't pick up really till I was in my 40s, and they are both incredible cooks.
wow.
But when I started learning, they were teenagers, so it was the right age for them to start learning. So I taught them how to make, husband getting macaroni and cheese, and how to make biscuits and all
The important stuff. The
staples,
staples.
the starches, basically.
Yes. When Autumn was little, we played. That's when Rachel Ray was first coming out. And one of our quality time things together was she had an interest in cooking, and she liked to watch the Rachel Ray show with me every day. So when supper time would roll around, we would pretend that we were on the Rachel Ray show.
Oh, how fun.
So every night we were reenacting the Rachel Ray show.
That's awesome.
I think it's important that in a child's life that you're the adult, that you be the adult. You don't make the child be the adult. Don't make them responsible for things that you're too lazy to do.
Yeah.
Or that you don't want to do for whatever reason, or, emotionally speaking as well, that, you are the adult in the situation. You take care of them. They don't take care of you.
Right. That's huge.
And that you're the protector.
Yes.
And we don't want to send our kids out into the world fending for themselves when they're 5 years old.
Right.
Yeah, they have a soft place to fall.
Absolutely. What about having fun?
Oh, well, just like the Rachel Ray show, I think that, playing with your kids is a big deal. And we should play as adults.
Yeah.
We should that's what makes life enjoyable. Dance in the rain. Jump in the mud puddle. Every once in a while, good for the soul. And kids are awesome at that. Kids just navigate life in a way that is free and unassuming, and go with them. Follow their lead sometimes.
Absolutely. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
So, my two girls and I, we would have talent night.
Of course.
And so we would, each one of us would pick our own song, and we would dance, and we would have microphones.
Hairbrushes or microphones?
Hairbrushes. And so we would work out our little routine and all that kind of stuff, and we'd have fashion shows, and it was awesome, and it was just a time we could be silly and free, and there was no judgment and no correction or anything like that.
Our kitchen was always the place to dance.
Yes.
It still is.
Yes.
So the girls and I, we would dance around the kitchen, and I let my kids get messy. I think that is healthy. But I let the kids play in the dirt and the mud, and we just hosed them off afterwards and let them, paint and do all that stuff. We're only little once.
Yeah.
Make sure that you don't shield your kids from everything.
Yeah.
They need to experience some things in life, like we talked about grief. Being able to walk that through with them is important.
Yeah. One time I was, the girls were in the back in their car seats, and I was maybe taking the road a little bit too fast, and I got pulled over, and of course my firstborn she's just zooms to the most terrible thing. Mom, are you going to jail? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to jail. I'm getting a speeding ticket. Everything is fine. Just calm down. That's what happens when you go too fast.
Right.
I didn't obey the law, and see, I got a consequence. That was my consequence.
Right.
So.
Good example.
Yeah.
You did that just for them, didn't you?
I did.
That's what I thought. Well, we hope we've given you some things to think about today as far as parenting goes. Just know that no parent is perfect. Give yourself some grace. Love yourself through the process as you're loving on those babies, and enjoy them in every phase of life that they're in, because it goes by way too fast.
It does.
Yeah, so make the most of it.
Yeah.
Love,
All right,
love.
love.